Good day, students. Welcome to mathgotserved.com. In this clip, we're going to be going over section 5.3 on our series on long division. We're going to be looking at how to divide 3 and 4-digit dividends by 2-digit divisors. An example problem of what we'll be covering in this presentation is given here, 253 divided by 11. Find the quotient using the long division algorithm. Don't forget, we have some practice problems at the end of this presentation for you to try out, and tons of support resources in the links in the description below, or just visit our website at mathgotserved.com. Alrighty, to get us started, we're gonna go ahead and review the formulas that relates the two numbers that we're dividing together. We went over these formulas in lessons 5.1 and 5.2. So let's go ahead and consider them again. So if you divide into numbers, the first number is known as the dividend. So if you have the dividend divided by the second number, the divisor, it's going to yield a number called the quotient plus the remainder. All right. The quotient is basically how many times the divisor goes into the dividend, or how many times you can subtract the divisor from the dividend, and the remainder is what you have left when your divisor, the remainder of the dividend, is smaller than your divisor. Okay, to check our work today, as we did in the previous two presentations, we're going to make use of this formula in the reverse format. We're going to take our quotient portion of our answer, multiply it by the divisor. So quotient times the divisor plus the remainder. If our computations are correct, it should yield the dividend. Okay, so this is how we're going to be checking our work today. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first example. Let's say we're dividing, so let's write down the instructions first. So the instructions are for us to find the quotient. Quotient is just another fancy word for divide. Okay, find the quotient of the given numbers with or without remainders. Okay, with or without remainders. And then after you're done finding the quotient with or without the remainder, you then to check your work. Then check your work. All right, question number 1. Let's say we're to divide 253 by 11. So here our divisor is no longer a 1-digit number. Our divisor is a 2-digit number. All right, so let's get started by writing down the first 10 multiples of our divisor 11. Okay, so 11 times 1 is 11. 11 times 2 is 22. 11 times 3 is 33. 11 times 4 is 44. 11 times 5 is 55. 11 times 6 is 66. 11 times 7 is 77. 11 times 8 is 88. 11 times 9 is 99. And 11 times 10 is 110. Okay? All right, so remember, this is a higher level division procedure. If you are not familiar with dividing by 2-digit divisors, you definitely want to go over lessons 5.0 all the way to 5.2 before going over this presentation. All right, so the steps that we're going to be using are exactly the same as what we used for 5.1 and 5.2. Steps are as follows. We're going to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and then repeat. All right, so this should look familiar to you. All right, so set up our long division. So we have a set of our long division bars. The first number, the dividend, 253. If we write this division statement as a fraction, is going to be on the top. So the top dog goes in the doghouse. The dividend goes underneath the long division bars, and the divisor goes outside. Now, since our divisor is a two-digit number, we're going to be dividing our digits of the dividend 2 digits at a time, okay? So we're going to ask ourselves, what is 25 divided by 11? Remember, the first step is divide, right? What is 25 divided by 11? Or how many times does 11 go into 25? To help us out, we can take a look at our multiples of 11. And we're going to look for the biggest multiple of 11 that's smaller than 25. If you look on this list, 25 is not there, basically telling us that 25 is not a multiple of 11, or 11 doesn't go into 25 evenly. All right, so the closest number that's smaller than 25 is 22. So we're going to divide 22 by 11, okay? So 22 by 11 divided by 11 is 2. 2 times, so that's our divide, okay? Multiply 2 by 11, that gives us 22, and then we subtract. See how we're working with 2 digits at a time. So we subtract, that's 0, 5 minus 2 is 3. Subtract, bring down 3, and then we're going to repeat. How many times does 11 go into 33? Or what is 33 divided by 11? Notice we're dealing with 2 digits here. Take a look at your multiplication chart. You notice that 33 shows up in the multiples of 11, which tells us that 11 goes into 33 evenly. Or if you divide 33 by 11, you're not going to have a remainder. So what is 33 divided by 11? 33 divided by 11 is 3, because 3 times 11 is 33. So you divide, and then now multiply 3 times 11, 33. Divide, multiply, subtract, 0. There's nothing left to bring down, and the digits we have here is smaller than our divisor, which automatically shows us that we are done. Okay? All right, so this component up here is known as your quotient, and this number on the bottom here is your remainder. Let's go ahead and write down what our answer is. 253 divided by 11 is 23, remainder 0. But whenever you have a remainder of 0, you don't have to write it. Okay, just write down the quotient component of your results. So our answer is just simply 23. Is our answer correct? Well, we have to do a check. All right, we're going to use the second formula we talked about, quotient times divisor plus remainder, and see if we get the dividend. Let's do it. So our quotient is 23. We're going to multiply that by the divisor, which is 11, and then add on the remainder. We don't have any remainder, so there's nothing to add on, okay? All right, so 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 2 is 2. Put a 0 down here. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Add that up. You have 253. If you add the remainder 0 to that, you still get 253. Does this match with our dividend? Absolutely. So that shows us that our answer is correct. All right, let's try another example. What if you have 576 divided by 12? Let's list our multiples of 12, the first 10 multiples of 12, just to help us out here, okay? 12 times, wrong color. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. 12 times 3 is 36. 12 times 4 is 48. 12 times 5 is 50 plus 10, which is 60. 12 times 6 is 60 plus 12, which is 72. 12 times 7 is 70 plus 14, which is 84. 12 times 8 is 80 plus 16, which is 96. 12 times 9 is 90 plus 18, which is 108. 12 times 10 is 120. Okay, ready to go. Let's go ahead and divide. So our dividend is the top dog. That's the numerator part if this expression is written as a fraction. So that will go underneath the long division bars. And our divisor, 12, will be on the outside. Bam. All right. So this setup right here is 576 divided by 12. So we're going to use the steps outlined here: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down, and repeat to carry out our division. We're going to be looking at it 2 digits at a time because our divisor is a 2-digit number. How many times does 12 go into 57? Notice we look at the first 2 digits of our dividend since our divisor is a 2-digit number. How many times does 12 go into 57? Or what is 57 divided by 12? If you take a look at the list here, we do not have 57. It goes from 48 to 60. So 12 doesn't go into 57 evenly. So we pick the biggest multiple of 12 that's smaller than 57, which is 48, and divide. What is 48 divided by 12? 48 divided by 12 is 4 because 4 times 12 is 48. Okay? So we can subtract 12 from 57 4 times. But there will be a remainder. What's the remainder? Well, we're going to see it right now. So we did the divide, now multiply. What is 4 times 12? 4 times 12 is 48. Subtract. Following the steps: divide, multiply, subtract. So if I subtract here, 7 is smaller than 8, so we have to borrow 1. This is 4. 17 minus 8 is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. So we subtract and now bring down the 6. Now we have 96. After the bring down, we're going to repeat the process again. Okay? What is 96 divided by 12? Or how many times does 12 go into 96? Or 12 times what gives us 96? If you take a look at our helpers here, the multiples of 12, voila, jackpot. We have 96 as a multiple. So that tells us that 12 goes into 96 evenly. If you divide 96 by 12, you will not have a remainder. So remember what this one is. This is 12 times 8. Okay, so since 12 times 8 is 96, 96 divided by 12 will be 8. Bam. Divide and then multiply 8 by 12, which is 96. Divide, multiply, subtract. Bam, there's nothing to bring down. This number is definitely smaller than our divisor, so we're done. Let's write down our answer statement. 576 divided by 12 is 48, remainder 0. But remember, you don't have to write down remainder 0. You just extract the quotient component of your result, and that's your final answer. Okay? So let's not forget this 48 is the quotient and our remainder is 0. Let's check our work to see if it's correct. So we're going to check by multiplying. So let's check. Now just multiply our quotient, which is 48, by our divisor, which is 12. If we get our dividend, then we are correct. If not, then something is wrong. We have to go back and check our work for errors. 2 times 8 is 16. 6 carry 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1, 9. 1 times 8 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. Let's go ahead and add that up. We get 6. 9 plus 8. 17. 7 carry 1. 576. Our remainder is 0, right? So if we add 0, it doesn't change anything. 576 matches with our dividend. Perfect. Our answer is correct. Alrighty, we have one more example problem to go over before we give you some practice problems to try out. Okay. For number 3, what is 1,849 divided by 13? Let's go ahead and write down our multiples of 13. Okay, our 13 times table, just the first 10. 13 times 1 is 13. 13 times 2 is 26. 13 times 3 is 39. 13 times 4 is 52. 13 times 5 is 65. 13 times 6 is 60 plus 18, which is 78. 13 times 7 is 70 plus 21, which is 91. 13 times 8 is 80 plus 24, which is 104. 13 times 9 is 90 plus 27. That's 117. 13 times 10 is 130. All right, bam, bam, bam. Now, let's go ahead and start dividing. We'll switch the order. The divisor comes first. And the dividend, which is the top dog, goes in the dog house. 1,849. For this one, notice our dividend is a 4-digit number. We're going to be attacking our dividend digits 2 at a time because our divisor is a 2-digit number, okay? So ask yourself, what is 18 divided by 13? Let's look at our list of multiples here. Oh, there's no 18, so 13 doesn't go into 18 evenly. So look for the biggest multiple of 13 that's smaller than 18, and that is 13. All right, 13 divided by 13 is 1. So we can take out 1 whole 13 from 18, but we'll have a remainder, right? So after dividing, you multiply. 1 times 13 is 13. And then you subtract. Following the steps here, divide, multiply, subtract. And then you do what? Bring down. Bam. And then we're going to repeat the process again. How many times does 13 go into 54? Or what is 54 divided by 13? Oh, there's no 54 here, so 54 doesn't go, 13 doesn't go into 54 evenly. Or if you divide 54 by 13, there will be a remainder. So we're going to look for the biggest multiple of 13 that is smaller than 54. Do you see what it is? It's 52. All right, so 13 times 1, 2, 3, 4. So 13 can go into 54 a maximum of 4 times. And of course, there's going to be a remainder since we don't have a match. 4 times 13 is 52. Remember, you divide and then multiply. So we divided 52 by 13, we go 4. We multiply 4 by 13, we get 52. Subtract. Bam, 2 is the remainder that you get after you divide 54 by 13. All right, then you're going to bring down and repeat. So let's bring down that 9. Bam. Okay. Now we're going to repeat. How many times does 13 go into 29? Or what is 29 divided by 13? Let's look at our list of multiples here. There's no 29. The closest number is the biggest multiple of 13 that's smaller than 29 is 26. So we divide 26 by 13, and that's 2. Okay, 2 times 13 is 26. So we can take out 13 from 29 a maximum number of 2 times. And of course, we're going to have a remainder. Okay, what's the remainder? Just subtract to see what will be left, and it will be left with 3. 3 is smaller than our divisor. There's nothing else to bring down. Guess what? We're done. With the division, this number right here is your quotient. And now we actually have a non-zero remainder. This number right here is your remainder. Let's write down what the answer to this question is. 1,000 849 divided by 13 is 142, remainder 3. Okay, let's box that. Is our answer correct? Let's go ahead and check to see if it's correct. Okay, so we're going to take our quotient 142 and multiply it by our divisor, which is 13. All right, let's multiply. 3, 2, 6, 3, 4, 12, 2 carry 1, 3, 1, 3. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4, 4, 26. With a 0, 1 times 2 is 2, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 1 is 1. Add the partial product digits. We have 6, 4, 8, 1. Does this match our dividend? No. Oh dear. Do you see what the mistake is? What's missing? We have a remainder. We must add on the remainder in order for our check to be complete. Okay? So if we add on our remainder, we have 9, 4, 8, 1. Is 1,849 our dividend? Absolutely. Check, check. Our answer is correct. Okay? All right, now it's time for you to do some practice problems. Alrighty, so here are the 3 practice problems for you to try out to demonstrate mastery of what we just talked about in this tutorial. Go ahead and pause the video at this time. We'd like you to divide these 3 numbers using the long division algorithm and specify the quotient and the remainder, and then check your work with multiplication. All right, so go ahead and pause this video. When you're done, click on the playback button, and we're going to review to you what the correct answers are, and you can check your work. Alrighty, welcome back. Hopefully you had a chance to try out the practice problems. Here are the answers. Go ahead and check your work at this time. So how well did you do? If you got them all right, go ahead and destroy that like button. If you have any questions about these practice problems or what we went over in the presentation, just specify it in the comments section below and we'll be more than glad to support you. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. Really appreciate it. Do help us support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing this video with your friends. Tons of support resources can be found again at mathgotserved.com or the links in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.